Hey, good people, welcome to episode 30 of 254 Rugby, your go to podcast for all things Kenyan rugby. I am Michael Kwambo, and today we have plenty to unpack from Shujaa's performance at the Hong Kong Sevens to the latest Kenya Cup action and the KRU Championship. Tell you what, let's dive in right away. And Shujaa finished 10th at the Hong Kong Sevens, which ended a few hours ago. Let's review their performance in Hong Kong, and it started with so much promise for Shujaa. They ultimately finished 10th overall, a result that actually confirms their spot in the crucial playoffs set for Los Angeles this May. That tournament will determine their survival in the World Rugby Sevens Series, and let's face it, the stakes couldn't be higher. Shujaa showed their class with a dominant 19-0 win against Spain in their opening fixture in Hong Kong. They put up a valiant fight in a tight 7-12 loss to Great Britain. I feel that they were indecisive in the 14-7 defeat to France, a result that ended their cup contention in Hong Kong. They bounced back with a 17-10 win against the USA, a result that actually set up a 9th place final fixture against continental rivals South Africa. Now let's talk about that game. The South Africans raced into a 12-0 lead. Shujaa then showed great resolve, rallying from that 12-point deficit to lead 17-12. However, a late South African try saw the Blitzbokkers now lead by 19 points to 17, and then a crucial loss of possession while attacking saw the game slip away, 19-17 in South Africa's favor. So what next for Shujaa? The Singapore Sevens is coming up, and just going to pull the groupings for Singapore onto the screen right now. But as I do that, just going to talk about what I feel that Shujaa needs to do in Singapore. Obviously, they cannot compete for the overall title, but heading into Singapore, this is what Shujaa must do. I feel that they must fine-tune their game before heading into that high-stakes do-or-die playoff in Los Angeles. It's all about, being clinical, because when they get to Los Angeles, remember, it's a straight shootout. You have to win your games, no more, no less. And to do that, they have the opportunity in Singapore to, practice what they're going to execute in Los Angeles. And just feel that it's a perfect opportunity for them. And when they get into the playoffs, they know what is at stake, and they will not want to face the pain of relegation again. Now let's look at the pools in Singapore. Defending series champions Argentina are in Pool A with Great Britain and South Africa, and boy, oh boy, these pools are tight. Pool B has France, Ireland, and Kenya. Pool C has Australia, Spain, and Uruguay. Pool D has Fiji, New Zealand, and the USA. Now, how does the Singapore Sevens work? It's straightforward. You just have to finish on top of your group and qualify for the semifinals and remain in cup contention. And so with that in mind, I'd expect Kenya to do that, not necessarily to fight for points, because the gap between Kenya, who are in 9th place, and Great Britain, who are in safety in 8th place, is too big to be overhauled, in my opinion. And so for Kevin Wambua's Chargers, it's all about using this as a practice run ahead of Los Angeles. And it just means going out there, guns blazing, and maintaining that momentum going into Los Angeles. And as always, from us here at 254 Rugby, we wish them all the best in their remaining fixtures, and always let them know that we are rooting for them as well as the entire nation. Now back to Kenya, and it was semi-final action in the Kenyan leagues, the Women's Kenya Cup, the KRU Championship, and of course the top-tier Kenya Cup for men. Let's start with women's rugby and the Women's Kenya Cup semi-finals. Only one match was played. Impala defeating fierce rivals Kenya Harlequin in a Ngong Road derby that also doubled up as a Kenya Cup semi-final. The full-time result, 20 points to 8. For Impala, it's a repeat final against defending champions Mwamba. Now Mwamba, through to the final, after Rongo, who were their opponents in the semi-final, did not turn up. Now, while we celebrate these teams, let's address a major issue: the lack of sufficient coverage of the women's game. It is disappointing that Rongo couldn't travel for their fixture, but even what's more concerning is the minimal attention the women's game receives compared to the men's game. I think we're doing ourselves a great disservice, especially when the women's game is on the rise. They're posting good results on the international front, as evidenced by the Kenya Lionesses being in contention to qualify for the World Rugby Sevens Series. And I think it's upon us all, whether in mainstream media, in this kind of media, social, digital platforms, and also in the organization at the Kenya Rugby Union. I know you're doing your best, but I think it's something that we have to be intentional about in talking about the women's game. Look, the women's game is on an upward trajectory, and it deserves the recognition and support to match its growth. Now, let's go to the KRU Championship. This is the second tier of club competitions in Kenya. It was semi-final Saturday in the KRU Championship, and Masinde Muliro are back in the Kenya Cup. They won their semi-final 46 points to 9 against the Zetec Oaks from Ruaraka. Now, while Masinde Muliro's result was expected, look, this is a team that has oscillated between the KRU Championship and the Kenya Cup, so they know what it takes to play within those two levels. I think a lot of credit goes out to the Zetec Oaks. Look, this is a team that was playing in the third division last season in the KRU Nationwide League. They won the KRU Nationwide title by defeating Mombasa. Those two teams earned promotion to the KRU Championship. And then the Oaks, working their way to the playoffs and working their way to the semifinals. And I mean, that's good stuff. What they say, beyond their wildest dreams. And for Coach Ramsfield Matekwa, for the organization at Zetec, kudos to what you're doing with the players, because I do know that there's a lot, like in terms of offering players scholarships and stuff like that. Quite a conducive environment to develop the athlete, both as a player and as a human being. I think it's good. And for the Zetec Oaks, sky is the limit. Just keep chugging along, just keep knocking on those doors. Eventually they'll open, and it would be great to see the likes of Zetec Oaks making a lot more impact in the National League. And at that juncture, it also would be great to see teams like Mean Machine, who dominated Kenyan club rugby once upon a time, return to their seat among the big boys. And it boils down to the little things like, the scholarships, player development pathways, but that's not what we're going to talk about. We'll have an opportunity to talk about that. Remember, we are just doing a roundup of the weekend's action. Now, talking about knocking on doors and them eventually opening, the Daystar Falcons have been perennial semi-finalists in the KRU Championship. They have fallen at this stage more times than we can remember. And this time round, they got it right. Look, heading into their fixture against the Catholic Monks, we all knew that the Catholic Monks was the team to beat because they have the pedigree. They've been in and out of the Kenya Cup. They know how to play these semi-final fixtures. I think this time round, the Daystar Falcons wanted it bad, and they got it. The 29-10 result against the Catholic Monks means that Daystar are promoted to the Kenya Cup for the first time ever. And to Daystar Falcons, to Coach Caleb Bosire, to the entire rugby family at Daystar University, you deserve this. Congratulations. And it will be great to see you in the Kenya Cup in 2026. Now let's go to the Kenya Cup, and the obvious news is that Kabras Sugar through to the Kenya Cup final. Remember, they are the defending champions. They first won it in 2016 and then again won it all the way from 2022, 2023, 2024. They're going for a fourth title in a row and a fifth overall. And just it's important to note, I don't want to put the cart before the horse, is that if Kabras win the Kenya Cup on the 5th of April, it will be their fourth consecutive title, and they'll become one of only 3 teams to have done that, because right now, the only teams who are on a 4-peat are Nondescripts, who actually did it twice, and Impala RFC, who won it between 1970 and 1974, 4 times in a row. So that's what to expect, you know. No, actually, yeah, that's what to expect. Now, to the fixture, Kabras Sugar defeated Nondescripts by 46 points. Was it 46 or it was 45? By 45 points to 6, I think. Let me just get a confirmation of the scores. There they are on the screen. Yes, it was 45-6 to Kabras Sugar. An expected result, if you ask me, and an intent that Kabras are not going anywhere. And in the words of their fans, they like saying they intend to dominate for 650 years. That dominance obviously looking unshakable. Now, the second semi-final fixture, we expected it to be tight. KCB versus the Menengai Oilers at Ruaraka, the home ground of the KCB Lions. It has been KCB's home ground since 2002 when they moved there from the Nairobi school, which used to serve as KCB's home venue. What happened in Ruaraka was a massacre. Well, the Oilers were too slick for the bankers. They raided the bankers' vault and made away with a money heist. 31 points to 8, the result. A big kicking performance from Tim Omela. But more importantly, do you know that the 31-8 result for the Oilers is KCB's heaviest defeat at home in Ruaraka since 2002 when they first started playing there. So, as it so stands, KCB will not be in the Kenya Cup final. The Oilers will be in the Kenya Cup final. And for the second time defeating KCB in a semi-final, we all recall in 2022 when Jeff Ominde kicked over 24 points as the Oilers won 24-17. That game was close. This one wasn't even close. For the new technical bench at KCB, Oliver Mangeni and company, in their first season coaching the side, a lot of introspection to do. Remember, they were knocked out of the Enterprise Cup at the semi-final stage. They've fallen out of the Kenya Cup at the semi-final stage. It's a rebuilding process. Look, dominance comes in cycles. You're up and you're down. And right now, KCB obviously going through that rebuilding phase, through that introspection phase. But let's not take it away from the Menengai Oilers. This is their time. They've done well. They have shown signs of brilliance all through the season. Remember, they started by winning the preseason Impala Floodlit tournament and then, you know, putting up decent performances throughout the season. 2 losses in the regular season coming at the hands of Kabras Sugar and KCB, and both of them were close. They lost, I think it was 2013 or thereabouts to Kabras Sugar, and then lost 29-27 to KCB. And here they are. They will be competing in the championship match on the 5th of April. That match taking place in Kakamega, and we will be previewing that match later on in the week, looking at the Kenya Cup finals, what to talk about. But for now, well, congratulations to the finalists, Kabras Sugar. They will be hunting for a 5th overall title and a 4th title in a row. The Menengai Oilers looking for that maiden title, and could this be the year? We don't know. Well, the question I'm going to ask is, who do you think will lift the Kenya Cup? I'll also ask, what do you think Shujaa's chances are in Singapore or in Los Angeles? You can join the conversations using the hashtag 254rugby on social media. And as we sign out, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. Your support is what keeps us going. So until next time, keep the rugby spirit alive. My name is Michael Kwambo. Catch you again next time on 254 Rugby.